Another one that I just remembered that I do love is to practice getting amazing shots with ordinary things. You're stuck in the place that you're at. I would try to do these creative shoots and make things cinematic when they were just everyday things. And then when you have an amazing shoot, you're gonna do amazing.
It's like preparing yourself for the opportunity when it comes.
Yeah.
And you're not just sitting and waiting for it, but you're just filming rando things with whatever you have. And nowadays we got phones that you can get the coolest shots with. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to A Filmmaker's Journey. I'm excited today because we have Jaden. Jaden, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm really excited about this because I've known you for a while and I know your husband really well, but I don't know you super well, other than what I see on Instagram.
It's true.
So I'm excited to hear about what you're up to and then also hear your journey.
Thank you.
Are you excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
It's okay. I'm nervous too. I get nervous every single time. But yeah, let's just kick things off with where you are at right now. Let's let the people know, what does Jaden do right now as a creative / filmmaker?
Yeah. So my husband and I run a company, a media production company called Enlight Media, and we film together side by side. I do majority of the editing. Right now we're filming a lot of weddings. We're filming luxury weddings and destination weddings. That's been my dream, and it's so cool to see that like happening right now. And this year we have a goal of moving into more commercial and brand type of work. Especially just because someday I want to have a family and everything and not be so busy. And Ben's not as passionate as weddings, obviously. So it'll be fun to see him take on some more companies and stuff.
Do you wear the pants?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. Are you Ben's boss?
Yeah.
In all aspects of life?
Absolutely.
Not Ben's back there laughing, not just as a filmmaker, but also in the house, I'm assuming. It's the same way with my wife. She wears the pants, even though I'm the one doing the filming. How does that dynamic work between you two? My sister's also partnered with her fiance. Yeah. And she wears the pants. She drives. I'm not saying you literally do, but still talk to it. Like, if you run the business, if you're in charge. But what's that dynamic like? Husband, wife, duo? I got to dig into that.
It's so fun. So
good.
I really like it. We've had actually a lot of our family friends and even like our parents when we first got married, and like they already knew that this was my career, but they saw that Ben was interested in it, and so we started to do it together. And they totally said like the advice of like, be careful running a business together. Sometimes you'll butt heads. Like sometimes it puts a strain because you're already juggling finances together, but like running a business is a whole new thing. And I have to say, when it works, it just works. And it really works with us. It's so fun. I definitely have more of like, I would say the creative experience. I mean, I haven't been for 10 years, but Ben has way more of the business experience and just like he's worked in the sales, sales industry stuff. So he knows how to kind of run that more. And it's definitely taken a burden off of my back doing it with them.
And that's what so many partnerships talk about. Yeah. Just, you're not even married partners, but like, having two people that are good at two different things. It's very often that people partner up as the same. Yeah. And so that's just unique and rare. And I like watch you guys talk and I like see you guys communicate. I'm like, are they really like, do you guys ever fight? Like you guys seem like you're just so cute. And so when I'm with my wife and I'm setting up cameras and I'm like, she's like a model or something, I'm in director mode and she doesn't like it. Yeah. And we kind of butt heads. And so that's why I asked that question. I kind of like watch you guys and you guys look like you just never fight.
Oh, that's definitely not, I mean, I really have to say we haven't gone in like fights, but there's definitely times where I would say it happens the most when we're doing product shoots in our studio, just like at our house when nobody else is around us or not like at a wedding. And so like so like I'll be like, no, we need to do this. And we get a little opinionated, but in the end, it's pretty smooth. And that definitely just makes it so much more enjoyable. So yeah, it makes it feel like we could do it forever.
It's super cool. It's super unique. And it's amazing that you guys are thriving and doing a good job.
Thank you.
And you say you do weddings a lot. How long have you been doing weddings on your, I guess even before you met Ben, you said 10 years you've been at
this? So I've been filming for 10 years. And I've been doing weddings since 2017. So it's been a while.
Cool. So a minute. Yeah, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then you guys are just starting to dabble in commercial work. What does that look like? Well, are you guys doing spec work? Do you actually have clients? Like, where are you at in that realm?
So we have a couple clients, which is super exciting. We filmed recently for a jewelry company. We actually filmed for kind of like an escape room type of business. So we have a couple like hands-on type of brands that we work with. But we're definitely working on our spec ads. So Ben and I will just literally go to like an Ulta or something and get get the products that we want, and then we'll shoot it in our studio like I mentioned, and then like share it so that we have obviously proof that we can do what we say we do.
And here's a little bit of your work right here. You guys love to travel.
Yes, we do. So
you guys you guys go to a lot of cool places, and your footage is amazing. I actually saw it. I was just telling Ben the phone. Hey, I know that client. The footage that you guys did with the phone on the cruise ship was dope.
Thank you.
That was really good. Like it caught. Well, the reason is I saw it. I've been there. I saw it and it caught my attention because it was the second picture that it had been repeated to me. And it was you sitting on the chair.
Yeah.
That was cool. So
thank you.
Good job there. Yeah, your guys' stuff looks great. You've obviously done a few of the clients that I've worked with, like Laced Hair, Siona. So good job.
Thank you.
You guys are doing great. It's all about just getting out there, making it happen. You haven't been like, you're not as seasoned as I am.
No,
but you guys are like basically at it, and you have been at it for so long, and you're continually grinding. And me and Ben laughed because we have minds that are very similar. Like they don't shut off. We just keep going. And I see that with you guys and the Enlight and your guys' account. So kudos to you guys and what you're doing, and don't stop.
Thank you.
Just keep going.
Okay.
I hope I can help you guys along the way too.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, that's enough about where you're at currently. I want to go back. This is going to be fun. Where did the spark hit, Jaden, when you decided that you wanted to be a filmmaker or just a content creator? Go all the way back to the beginning. I really hope it was when you were like 5 years old, and I'm just kidding. What happened to you? Do you know that moment?
Yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so are we starting like just the very beginning? Okay.
All the way.
Okay. So I got my first camera from my mom. So my mom.
Why?
She did newborn photography, actually. So
she sparked it.
So she kind of sparked it. I remember while we would go to school, she had a studio upstairs, and she had like all the racks of the like backdrops, and she would like pull it down, and she would do shoots while we were gone. And then I remember once that kind of like faded out. It was more of like it was a mini business for her, but it was kind of a hobby. And once that fell apart, I bought my first camera from her.
Yeah.
So I kind of had that inspiration from her, and just seeing her always documenting and taking pictures. And I really, really found like the excitement from seeing her do that.
What was it about seeing her doing it? Was it you saw her happy? Did you see her getting like turned on by it, or was it you that like why did you buy that camera? What told you you needed to do that? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do.
Why did you buy the camera?
Yeah,
because you're the oldest
so
versus someone else.
I definitely bought the camera because I've always had an artistic eye. So growing up, I went from like oil painting, watercolor painting, drawing. So I was very artistic. And then when I saw photography, it was like a light bulb just went off, and I was like, I really want to document. I just was fascinated with the idea of like stopping time and like literally documenting a moment and being able to keep it forever. So at first, like before I even got into video, it was just photography. And so I bought that camera, and my cousin and I would just take the cheesiest shoots. We didn't know what we were doing. I didn't have any background education. So at the time I was just using like auto. Yeah. And
the green square.
Yeah. And we would just do all sorts of shoots and have fun with it.
Yeah. So how old were you when you got that camera?
I was 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah. So that was 2013.
And these are your siblings?
So that's my mom on the left.
Oh my gosh, your mom's gonna love that I said that.
That's
she looks like she's your sister. And is that your dad?
No, that's my brother Isaac. So I'm the oldest, and then we're all 2 years apart. So then it's my brother, my sister, and then my other sister.
Very cool. So then you obviously got a camera. You started shooting stuff. What happened after that?
So I actually remember when the 15-second Instagram videos came out.
Same.
So at the time it was just photo. And I remember when that came out, I had my best friend is my cousin. So my cousin and I did all those shoots, and her friend posted a video one day of just 15 seconds, and it was like the cheesiest, harshest Instagram filter.
Oh yeah.
And like the square aspect ratio. And it was just of her like kind of doing a montage of a trip she went on.
Yeah.
15 seconds. And that was the moment where I think I just realized like, oh my goodness, I can do video instead of photography.
Just because you can put it on social media.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, also just because I loved, I just had a passion for documenting. Something that I forgot to mention is I'm a big journaler. So I would like write in my journal, and I have like multiple journals like filled from the front to the back of just like my day-to-day life.
I love that.
So when I had the drive to start video, I would just use my iPhone because the camera I had was a Canon Rebel T5i, and it didn't do any photo. So I would just shoot video on my iPhone. And I remember my dad saying he would pay me $20 to make recap videos of the travels that we went on.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of how
entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah, for sure.
This is actually cool. I didn't realize this, but you're from a different generation.
Yeah.
Like you came up at a different time. Everyone else I've talked to so far, I think we all came up 10 years before you. So to hear that, you remember when Instagram video, we all did, but it was like we all got started in a pre-YouTube, like social media, and like we wanted to be a film director, we wanted to be in movies, right? And then social media kind of flipped that on its head, and there was a whole nother career path. You started post Instagram, like Facebook, all that, obviously right as video came out too. What was the direction at that point for you? Like, were you like, I don't want to ask this question because I doubt it, but did you want to be a director in movies, or are you like, I just want to stick with social media, I like this? Your dad obviously paid you to do recap videos. Like, did you have a vision at that point, or was it just, I like to make videos?
It was, so when video really took off on Instagram, I mean, this was also 2013, so it was still way early on from what it is now. But I remember seeing like the influencers that I followed posting travel recap videos, but they weren't like vlogs. Like I wasn't ever entertained when people just held the camera up to their face and they're like, here's my day-to-day. But when it was like cinematic and there were those angles and they incorporated like photography principles in it, I was so fascinated by that. So I almost saw that and I knew, I was like, I just want to do that someday.
So did you see people making money doing that?
Yes, that was also the thing. So
that's kind of that generation difference, is there wasn't, when I saw social media, there wasn't money. It was like, other than what Devin Supertramp was doing, it's like, I think he's got a career in this. So like you saw people doing that and you're like, okay, there's a career path here where I can do something I love, but also make money.
Yes, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you started going down that road.
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
So
what happened after you started seeing that stuff and your dad paid you $50 or $20?
It was $20. Yeah. Trying to think.
Ben will spark your memory with it.
Yeah. What did I kind of talk about?
So you started traveling, I'm sure, and you started, obviously that travel spark hit.
Yeah.
Travel recap video stuff. And you started making videos.
Yeah, this is such a janky one. This is when my family went to New York. And this was actually one of the first travel videos using an actual camera.
What were you using?
It was the Canon 5D Mark IV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I also, you can tell the quality, like I had no idea really what I was doing. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, it'll do video. So like, I don't even think it was in 4K. I had no knowledge of frame rate in any of that. But I was having so much fun with that. I remember looking at all of the inspiration that I would get from other people's videos and trying to recreate that. But I also did not know, like, I wasn't taking a photo class. I wasn't learning from my mom. I was just taking like my creative juices and just throwing it into photography and videography.
You were listening to your intuition.
Yeah, for sure.
So you didn't go to school?
No.
You just taught this. Are you still self-taught?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you watch YouTube videos? Like, how did you learn all this? Just doing it? That's the best way to go about it.
It really was just doing it. I did take a photography class 3 times. Like, I took photo 1, 2, and 3 in high school. And that taught me the basics of photography.
Yeah.
And how to use shutter speed, ISO, all of that. And the entire time, I remember never thinking I wanted to be a photographer. I wanted to be a videographer. And so as I was learning all of that, in my head, I was translating it to video.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to YouTube, like, how to get slow motion that's not jittery.
Yeah.
Because I
didn't slow down in post.
Yes, because I would slow it down and I was like, why does this look like an amateur?
I know exactly that feeling. I did that for a wedding and I was like, because I was using a Sony big video camera. Like, I didn't,
oh, nice.
Like, video cameras didn't have shutter, ISO, or aperture. It was just kind of like the lens was fixed. It was like, anyway, I can't even explain it, but I remember shooting a wedding and I was like, how do people get slow motion? And I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, so that's where my passion also came with filming, was like not the fast-paced things. It was like documenting life in a cinematic way where it's slowed down, and I loved the slow motion. So anyways, I was learning in high school just the basics of photography, and I actually asked one time for a project. Instead of photo, can I present my video? And they were like, no, you need to do photo. And I was like, but I can prove to you that it's good. So, yeah, all that time I was just filming video, and I then saved up to buy, so I had my mom's first camera, and then I saved up to buy the 5D Mark IV.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like a big shot getting that.
I'm trying to, so a 5D Mark II, sorry, Mark 1, 2, 3, and you were at 4?
Yeah.
Because my first camera I used was a Mark II.
Okay.
Like, I rented it from my school.
Yeah.
So, wow, yeah.
And at the time, like, the reason I got that camera was because that was like the camera that all the influencers and videographers online were sharing about. So I got that, and so when I was just filming on my iPhone, I was editing on iMovie. And then I moved from my camera, and then I started editing on Final Cut Pro.
Nice.
And I used that for years. Yeah.
Nice. Did you hate it?
I didn't really know any other. I didn't know any better. Yeah, so I was like, this is actually pretty sweet compared to iMovie. Totally. So I was thriving. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of just jambling.
No, you're not, actually. It's perfect. I was gonna say I went from Final Cut 7, and then Final Cut X came out, and everyone hated it. And so I went to Premiere, and I've never switched since.
Vince told me.
Premiere there was a few years where it sucked, but it's gotten so much better now. But so yeah, you started editing in Final Cut X. How old were you, I guess, at this point when you got your 5D?
I would have been 16.
Okay, so you're still super young.
Yeah, so I was 16. That would have been like
sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore into junior.
Okay, so now you're in high school. What's going on in high school? Are you still shooting stuff?
Yeah, so I would just do the basics, like senior photo shoots and family portraits, and that was all photo. So for video, I was totally just pouring that into the travels that my family went on, and the skits that I do with my friends. Like, we would just think of a creative idea and go out into the desert in Arizona and just like try to find the prettiest background and shoot against that. Yeah.
What was your purpose with that? Was it
totally
to upload to YouTube, to put on Instagram, to gain a following, to make money? What was it?
It was solely for personal enjoyment.
Nice.
Like,
you're a true filmmaker.
I shared it with my family, and I almost created like a little fan group within my family.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what's the next video that Jaden and Julia are gonna make?
That's cool.
And so that was really fun, but we were always like too embarrassed to put it on YouTube. And I didn't really want to get into YouTube necessarily, which is kind of funny. I was totally just always looking on Instagram and seeing people successful through Instagram. So I was like, I don't want to bother with YouTube.
Yeah. So did you So you're 16. Are you like thinking of a career path still?
Yeah. So I was thinking I kind of jumped around for a time. But I was thinking of going into like travel documentary and photography documentary. So I saw that people were traveling and getting paid to do it. And I was lucky enough to do a lot of trips with my family. And so I saw what that could be like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I really wanted to do.
Nice.
I just had this dream where I told everybody, like, I'm going to be a videographer. I'm going to marry a videographer and we're going to travel the world together.
How'd that work out?
That's what we're doing. I was telling Ben earlier this morning, but I listened to your podcast story and how you were sharing. And I remember you sharing the picture that you had of like the perfect family and your dream. And it's so funny that you say that because that was pretty much me too. Yeah. Like I see now the power in manifesting. Yeah. Like I just like was over the top optimistic. Yeah. I just saw how much I enjoyed filming and I was like, I'm gonna make this work. There's no other thing that I would love to do more, and I'm gonna build my dream life.
And so you're doing it.
Yeah, and so it's so fun because so many of my friends will talk to me and be like, you're literally living your dream. You have a husband who does video with you, you're traveling the world, you're running a business together, and it's kind of surreal.
That's amazing, like, advice.
Thank you.
You just kind of didn't even touch on, but you talked through. Where did that come from? Like, where did that intuition of manifesting or being so obsessed with something enough and maybe being so ignorant that you didn't know it would happen, but it ended up happening? Or did you have this like plan? I'm going to write down in my journal every day what I want. I'm going to have a vision board. Like, talk to me about that.
Yeah. It kind of just stemmed from, I would say it had a lot to do with how I was raised. My parents totally instilled in us like the principle of you can do and become anything and anyone you want. Like you can accomplish anything. And they were so supportive, and I think that made a huge difference. Like, you know, if my mom didn't give me a discount for buying her first camera, I don't know if I ever would have been able to just pick up a camera in the first place. Yeah. And I always had goals every single year. We had a thing called Pass the Candle. Yeah. And on New Year's Eve, we would sit down, turn off all the lights in the house, and pass a candle and share all of the highlights of our year, the things that we accomplished and felt proud of, and then the goals for the following year. And my mom would write them down to help keep us accountable. So she would have a pen and a paper next to her, and she'd be writing these goals down. And we'd try to do all the things, you know, like physical, intellectual, spiritual, passion, project, or whatever you want to call it. And so because of that, I always knew the importance of having a dream and just kind of like having a direction in my life. Yeah. I never at a point was like, I don't know what to do. And I feel kind of out of place sharing that sometimes because I feel like everybody goes through a stage where they have no idea what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And so many kids in high school were even like, I don't know what major I want to study. But from the beginning, when I first touched a camera, I was like, I'm going to study photography. I'm going to be a videographer. And it just kind of went from there.
I can relate to that so much. I've always known I was going to do this.
Yeah.
To actually continue and not stop, just keep going.
That's so cool.
But your parents sound amazing. Like
they are.
I need to take notes on some of these ideas because I am now a parent and I need to make my kids awesome.
I'm sure they're great.
Try to help them up. But I love that idea of like writing down your goals. So that answers my question of like, where did this come from? Like it was instilled in you by your parents, these like habits and these writing your goals down and knowing where you want to go, but also supporting you when you have that fire of like, I want to buy a camera, and they helped you. My mom did the same thing for me. I was like, I think I want to be an editor. And she's like, well, let's get you a camera. I'll buy it, but you pay me back, you know, things like that. So that's really cool. So kudos to your parents.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They did the same thing where like, especially once I got into video editing and filming with a camera, they helped pay for like a laptop and give me basically like set me up for success.
Get you on your feet.
And and I know a lot of people don't have that and have totally different experiences, but a lot of it is credited to my parents and That's just cool. How they helped me realize that like I can do this. I can do whatever I want. and just giving me the tools to take off.
Well, it's a testament to what good parents can do for their kids, and how that can really excel there or set them up, which is so cool. So it's a testament to them. As far as like you've got these goals, you're now living your dream life. I don't want to jump too far ahead too fast.
Yeah.
You're in high school. Was there any, I'm going to ask this question even though I know the answer. Did you have any other idea of your career path? You're just like, I'm doing video. I'm going to go to, where you're like, I'm going to go to college. Like, what was the next step after high school?
Yeah. Sorry, I just need a moment to think.
You're good.
So, I mean, during high school, I was always preparing to go to BYU college. That's just what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so my whole life was, get good grades to get in there and like do all the extracurricular, just like basically go above and beyond to get into the college you want.
Yeah.
So I got in there and I was so excited. And I remember looking through the majors. And I was so bummed when there wasn't anything film related.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's an interesting school for.
So yeah, the reason I keep saying like I wanted to be a videographer, but I kept focusing on photography was because I didn't see the education in a university for like videography.
Yeah.
And it was kind of I was kind of too late in my path to ever like change the university. I just wanted to go there and that was just the plan. So I majored in photography and then I took a break to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I didn't know you went on a mission.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I served in the North Shore of Oahu.
Nice.
I served in Hawaii.
That's a great place to
It was beautiful.
When were you there?
So I left January of 2020, and then in April, 4 months later.
Were you at that temple?
Yeah, I was at the.
Have we talked about this?
I don't think.
Did I ever run into you?
That would be crazy.
We talked to some sister missionaries at
way.
that temple.
What month?
In 2020.
It might have been me.
It could have been. Yeah, I was there.
I would have had no idea who you were.
Yeah, totally. But that's why I was like, what the heck? Because we went to Oahu like 4 years in a row around that time.
That's so crazy.
And we stayed in Laie because we got family there.
It's the best place. Yeah. It's so beautiful. So, but yeah, I served there, and then in April, COVID hit, and it changed the entire. Yeah, I was on the mission, gosh. So it changed everything, and especially being in Hawaii, in a community that's tourist. Based.
Just went quiet.
Yeah, it just went very quiet. And we were at a visitor center where we were talking to people constantly. So there wasn't any more face-to-face interaction. And this was truly kind of what do you call it? Kind of
change the trajectory.
Yeah, change the trajectory of my career because my mission president knew my background in video and photography. I think I had just kind of always shared that. Like when people ask like, what's your hobby or what's your passion? I was just like, I'm a videographer. And I was just confident to say that.
Yeah.
And so he had all of my gear shipped to where I was living. And I filmed for the rest of my mission.
Wow.
Like weekly, daily, every day.
No way. What were you filming? Just travel stuff, slow motion?
I was filming, we had a chance, like this is an example of us filming these fire dancers at the Polynesian Cultural Center.
Yeah.
And we went after it was closed and we just shared, it was a combination of like their joy and how they find joy in the talents that they have. Yeah. So we were just trying to, spread light during such a dark time.
Yeah, and keep yourself busy too.
Yeah, and keep yourself busy. So we would film everything from like details of the temple grounds I was on, details of the community and sharing the Hawaiian culture, to sharing and interviewing families and their stories.
Nice.
So it was kind of just a combination of everything. And meanwhile, when I wasn't actually doing things for the mission, like on my breaks, I was just filming my companions and the people around.
That's so unique.
Yeah, it was. I was the only one for a full year who had a camera, and all of the, and I also have my laptop too, which, yeah, if people aren't familiar with church missions, like you don't have technology like that. Yeah. So I had my camera and my laptop and everything to edit videos that I thought I wouldn't be doing for 18 months.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that is unique. Nowadays you can, a little more.
Yeah, now it's very different.
It's changed since COVID. So then you keep going, like you got done with your mission. You obviously had a ton more to add to your portfolio.
Yeah, so I definitely had a lot more to add. I think the reason that changed so much for me was because I was filming more than I ever had in my life. And that is just another little tidbit of like getting all the practice in you can. Like just the more you shoot, the more you're gonna improve.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna have a better eye and learn your mistakes. So it's just like trial and error. So I was filming so much, and when I got back, I still had the desire to grow a business through social media, Instagram specifically. And so I definitely leaned more into like following the trending audio, and post mission reels had become a thing. So reels didn't exist. And I remember hearing that and being like, what's a reel?
It was like a TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just all about the short, long form videos. And so I definitely leaned into that. And for a while I was like, I will lean into just the trending audio and the trends to try and get the views and the follows and all of that. So I played the game for a little bit. But I got back and I definitely still wanted to film weddings. And
Had you shot any weddings up to this point?
I had, yeah. I had filmed a couple.
Did
but
you make money off of them?
I did, yeah. So I was still making money, but it definitely wasn't like as much as I wanted to. Yeah. They were like 800, 1,000.
That's
1,100.
That's so great though. Like I would do it for $100 back in 2008, 2007, like $250.
I mean, I wasn't filming in 2007, so.
I know, but the prices have gone up. So
yeah.
For you to say 800, 1,000, I'm like, wow, I would have loved that. It's 4 times what I was making.
Yeah, and definitely as a college student, like when I saw the people that I wanted to become like and be as good as charging $3,500, $4,500, I was like, I'm charging, crap. Yeah. But I would have this mentality of like, $800 is $800. $1,000 is $1,000. It's amazing. And and again, I had so much passion to film that I was like, this is worth it to me. Like, I don't want to go find a 9-to-5. I want to make this work. So I'm just going to make it work.
So cool.
So I started filming a lot. And I would just advertise my weddings and get a lot of word of mouth and referrals from those. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe there's a question that'll help hone in the direction that I'm going.
No, the weddings is kind of the next thing. Like you're done with your mission. You've gotten paid to do film, your passion. You love weddings.
Yes.
Why? Why do you love weddings?
Yeah, I was hesitant. I'm always hesitant to share how much I love weddings because especially well, I was going to say it's unique. Yeah. And in this filming industry, it's almost like you haven't made it if you're just doing weddings, like people, that's always where they start off and then they take off doing something else. But for me, it totally went back to the reason why I filmed. And the reason was I loved seeing the reaction of people watching my films. And one of the best ways that I could do that was filming someone's best day of their life.
Yeah.
And that was so special to me to gift someone that I didn't even know a video to last them a lifetime and just like get that emotion. I loved documenting the emotion and I loved making other people emotional and cry.
Cool.
So
I feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you knew I talked about that, but I loved to draw emotion in people. And that was like why I love to be an editor, is like adding music and adding the emotion to a film and having purpose behind that and seeing how they react.
Yeah, that was another reason why I loved weddings so much, was because I take so much more joy and like I get in my creative feel when I'm editing more than I'm filming. So I love the editing more than the filming.
Nice.
100%.
That's me.
And I just love like sitting down, looking at all the footage, getting creative, finding that perfect song. And so that's kind of why I went in the wedding direction.
Cool.
Also just being a female, I was like, I love a wedding day. I love seeing the
you
bride.
You relive your own wedding every day.
Yes. So I loved seeing like a beautiful location, a beautiful just shot and everything to get creative with.
I think weddings have changed so much, though. For you to say that like people think you haven't made it, that's definitely changing, especially with the opportunities now. Like you see what Jake and Nate have done. It's like like you can make so much. Like you can charge 10, 20 grand for a wedding.
Yes.
Like go to the coolest places ever, and just because you have a camera, you have a ticket to go somewhere.
Yeah,
and
it's
people
so
trust
true.
you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely changed.
This is our newest little what do you call it, Ben? Yeah, this is our newest demo reel that we put together for weddings. And last year was the first year we filmed internationally, and so that was just a dream. We filmed in the Virgin Islands twice, and we also filmed in Spain. And Spain wasn't a wedding, but like just being able to travel was, and almost like advertise that, like we have these shots from different countries, so put you in it. We can create a good film.
Yeah. How do you, right now you've got your demo reel, how do you get clients for your weddings?
A lot of it is from our website. So our website is linked to our Instagram, and our portfolio is all on Instagram. Ben does a good job of uploading things to YouTube, but I would say the majority of our clients see our Instagram, and they'll click on our bio link and send in an inquiry.
Cool.
And also because I've been filming for so long, it's so much referrals, like so many referrals, so many word of mouth. It's kind of just spread like wildfire.
And the one thing that stuck out to me with Nate was like he's gathering emails. Do you do that?
Wait, what do you
mean
by
He was
gathering?
making an email list. So there's nothing more powerful as a business owner than an email list.
Oh, yes. We don't have that.
You should start doing that. Like gathering people, like it's like, even if it's as much as sending them an invoice or whatever through an email and getting their email, put it in some kind of CRM.
Yeah.
Because then one day when you want to like sell a product or you want to start something different, you have a massive list of people that trust you.
That's a great idea.
And you shoot it to him cold. I thought that was so genius of him to do.
That is genius.
Because he's like, I've got a network of people that love me because I filmed the best day of their life. So just a little bit of advice there. Definitely start doing that and think about that for the future. Like just have that list.
I love
because you're going to want to do things different as you kind of grow.
Yeah.
I feel like we jumped ahead again.
Yeah, we can backtrack.
When the heck did you meet Ben? I almost said get married to Ben. When did you meet Ben?
So I got home from Hawaii in May of 2021, and I actually came home for health reasons just a month short of when I was going to finish, and I had a lot of back pain, and so I was trying to figure that out. So I had a whole summer to stay home. We went on a family trip again, and I had more content to share, and then I met him in college in that following November.
Cool.
So just a couple months later.
Nice.
And our love story timeline was very fast. We met in November and we got engaged in February.
Nice.
And then married in June of 2022.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We won't go into that.
That's a whole nother story.
Amazing.
It would be so funny
That's
to share.
so fast.
It is.
And even for Utah.
It is.
Because I think I got married fast and it was like 2 years.
Yeah.
So no judging. I think it's amazing. You guys are the cutest thing ever.
Thanks.
So you guys, like when you met him, he was a business guy. He's probably apt of doing sales. When you wanted to marry a videographer and he wasn't.
He wasn't.
What the heck are you doing? That's not part of your vision board.
It was not. He asked me out, and I mean, when you see the love of your life,
oh, you just know.
You can't deny it. So.
You didn't pull out your checklist and say, all right, here's what you need to have.
So I think that's something that I want to say is important, is just having an open mind.
Yeah.
I didn't have this perfectionist list of like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
So when I met Ben and we started hanging out, he just supported my dreams, and I loved that. He didn't treat me like this was a small business or this was just my hobby. He saw that I was running this on my own, and he just supported me, and I fell in love with that. And so he started off as the gentleman carrying my bags and holding the gimbal when my arms got tired at a wedding and at shoots. And I don't exactly know, I mean, obviously our love story is already short timing, but somewhere in there he pulled me aside and told me, I would love to do this with you. I just remember it was like fireworks and my brain was so excited.
Yes.
I was like, I would love to train you.
I gotta make him film like me. Yeah. Make a mini me. I think Ben saw a business opportunity at being a business guy. He's like, probably. This is an opportunity to make some money. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. But he said, I want to do this with you, and you were stoked. What? And then did you guys put down a business plan, or did you like just take it as it came?
So yeah, it started, I mean, I'm trying to think of like the very bare minimum.
He started holding your bags, and then
he started holding my bags, just
when did you give him things. A camera?
He would borrow my camera on weekends. Like, obviously we were together, but I would give him my camera and we would go out to just random locations in Provo and Salt Lake City, and I would teach him how to shoot. And so I just remember sharing as much as I could. And this was also the first time that, like, I'm not like a great educator. Like, I'm not a trained teacher or anything. So I didn't know how to really like word things and share things. Yeah. And it was really beneficial for me because it made me realize how much was muscle memory for me. Yeah. That was just like, oh wait, this is obvious. Everyone should know this. Oh. And Ben's like, no, like you've been filming for a long time. Yeah, I know. I totally get that. So that was a fun thing. But he started to really film 2023. So we got married June of 2022, and it wasn't until like 6-7 months later that he actually was like, okay, I actually want to film next to you. I think he just wanted to like kind of gauge where his interest was, and he definitely helped run the business on the side. He was helping, make everything flow and the advertising side of it, but he actually started to film in 2023. And I mean, shout out to Full-Time Filmmaker. He bought Full-Time Filmmaker course, and that taught him a lot more than I ever could. Because we did kind of get to a point where I was like, I don't really know how to teach the rest. Yeah. A lot of it does just come from so much practice and passion and like years of experience. Oh, and so, so I was like, you should get the course and learn. So he drank that up. Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, he would be eating his cereal, watching the courses, and then he would go out on a weekend with me and we would try to execute the shots. And I remember that was a lot of frustration, just like doubt, wondering if I could actually do this, if he was good enough for it. And here we are today, and he's so talented, and we do it together. So cool. It worked out amazing.
You guys are in the hustle grind of it right now.
Yes.
That's so fun. That's cool. I'm jealous of just like that young ignorance of just like, let's go hard.
I know. It is fun I'm so thankful that early in our marriage, we already know what we want to do, and we're like building this business, and I can't imagine like what it'll be, and I hope it's as good as Tyson Media.
Hey, that's a compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's really cool. So I feel like that's kind of brought us up to where we're at. Yeah. Again, right? So then I like to before I ask the question about like what you would tell someone and that would want to be in your shoes, like, is there anything else that maybe you've breezed over that you've done I know we talked about commercials a little bit, like, I guess I'm kind of thinking through this as before we end is like, now I have a question. So you were doing the weddings and then you married Ben and he started filming with you. At what point were you like, I need to get into commercials now? I need to actually expand my portfolio. Why?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Just because you're supposed to?
No, I think it was because as amazing as weddings are, and for how large of an amount you can charge, it is a one-time client
Yeah.
and they're not going to come back. And so wanting to build this Enlight Media like company, we were like, we need recurring clients, we need retainer clients, and getting that monthly income. So that's kind of where that started to jump in. And then I also started to just grow my community within, like, or I started to grow friendships within the filming community, and I saw other females going on like branding shoots, but they were still more feminine, you know, and I had always pictured like commercial or branding things being very masculine, and so that's why I guess I wasn't as interested in it. But when I realized that there's so many products out there that I love and that I would want to shoot and work with, that kind of sparked this journey that we're on now to really kickstart that and transition from weddings full-time to brand work. And then this is also just personal reason, but we want to start a family someday. And I'm not the kind of person who wants to work 24/7 running a business and raising kids. So I would love to still travel the world with him and film and document in that way, but with my family. So we need to have retainer clients and brand clients where I'm not gone on a wedding all day, and he can kind of do that on days.
Totally. And then the weddings just become a perk. It's like,
for
that's
sure.
a bonus.
Yes. So every time we get a destination wedding, 100% I'm going to take that and go travel and film something that I'm passionate about. So
I know somebody that's teaching a pretty good course on building a business that's sustainable, and
I do too.
if you ever want to check that out. Luckily, Ben's got an inside scoop, so you don't even have to worry about it. So one last question. Who, you keep talking about these people you were seeing online that influenced you, these other women. Can you name who they are? Like, who's inspired you to do what you're doing?
The number one is actually Jaidyn.
Oh, cool.
So I followed her when I got Instagram when I was 12.
She's like an OG of social media and being a filmmaker as a female.
And so I followed her for a very long time, but she totally sparked the like lifestyle filming and making life cinematic. And I loved that so much. It wasn't just like day-to-day filming, it was turning a family trip into cinema. I don't know if that makes sense, but so she definitely inspired me, and still to this day I follow her and I love everything that she has. And then another person was JC Marie Smith, if you've ever heard of her.
No.
She actually doesn't even do videography anymore. It was totally just her early on business. And her and her husband also did it together. So that inspired me to be like, I want to do this with my husband. And now they have a kid, and they've leaned more into just like, they just get their business from living and sharing their life. So she doesn't film weddings or destination things or anything like that. But that's cool. Those were the two biggest. I'm trying to think if there were any others. Tell the Birds. If you've heard of Tell the Birds.
I haven't.
Tell the Birds was another big one. I actually booked my very first workshop with them. And that was their first workshop too.
Really?
So I followed them from the beginning, and she has similar story where she was, one-man band filming full-time, and then she met her now husband who does it with her. And so all these people totally like sparked my desire to have this life that
There's a trend with husband wife husband wife. I went to elementary school with Brad Devine. So I knew him.
That's cool.
We were good friends, and then I moved to Lehigh, but he I remember just coming across Haley Devine's channel, and I saw Brad, and I'm like, wait, that's Brad. I haven't seen him in years, but
that's so crazy.
So I've seen what they've been up to, and just super cool, because I think that is such a big part of everyone's journey, is like, who was the person ahead of you that you were following and being inspired by. And that's so much of what I'm trying to do right now, is just like trying to teach and help people and be that person that's helping the next generation of filmmakers. So glad to have you on here. I want to just part ways with some advice. I know you've been thinking about this, and you're like, what should I say when Tyson asks me, what advice would you give a young girl that is 13, her mom's giving her a camera. I'm just kidding. But like, what would you tell a young girl right now that's like, man, I like this idea of what Jaden's doing? What would you tell her?
I really have thought about this.
No, you have.
But
you guys are very prepared.
I would say there's two things, and they might sound cliche, and I kind of already touched on this, but I would say the power of manifesting is really insane. It's true. Like, if you tell yourself I'm not good enough, you're never going to be good enough. If you tell yourself I'm amazing and I can do anything, you really will do it. And you'll start to make decisions that reflect how you feel. And that's what I would say to a 13-year-old is, you know, they have their whole life ahead of them. And if they find this interest that they love, like, go at it with all your heart. And another thing that I would say is to just say yes. Just take every opportunity you can. I mean, he can chop up whatever advice I want, but another one that I just remembered that I do love is to, I mean, specifically for videography and photography, practice getting amazing shots with ordinary things. I did that as a kid, and because I obviously I wasn't traveling to Dubai or, you know, I also was going to school every single day. So you're stuck in the place that you're at every day. But I would try to do these creative shoots and make things cinematic when they were just normal, everyday things. So, and I see this today in the filming world, like, try to make a scrambled egg and shoot it cinematically and film it cinematically, and you'll get better and better. And then you'll have the skills that you need because you've just been practicing on basic things. And then when you have an amazing set, an amazing shoot, you're going to blow it out.
Yeah.
You're going to do amazing. Yeah.
It's like preparing yourself for the opportunity when it comes.
Yeah.
And you're not just sitting and waiting for it, but you're just filming rando things with whatever you have. And nowadays we got phones that you can get the coolest shots with. Do you, since we're both big fans of manifesting, do you know why that's so real? And we're not going to get into religion or anything, but like, do you understand how that works? Because I'm going to tell you if you don't.
I mean,
it's very logical, but it's so true.
I don't know if I could explain it, but I think I know. So maybe I'll let you explain it.
Well, I'm excited about it, so I'll explain it. But the best way to say it, so like when you start to put your attention towards something that you love, and the best analogy, the most simple analogy is like when you are like, I really want a red Ford truck. All of a sudden your mind starts seeing those red trucks everywhere, right? And you see them all the time, or like even cyber trucks now. It's like you just see them everywhere. But and that's a bad example because they haven't always been here. But those red trucks have always been here. Yeah. The thing is that once you start putting your focus towards something, you're activating the reticular activating system in your brain, and your brain's looking for those things, right? So if you're looking for opportunities in film, if you're looking for ways to succeed or grow or get better, and you put all your focus into something like that, you start to notice those opportunities as you go throughout your days. And when you notice those opportunities, you're going to act on them because they're what you want. Where if you're not focused on it, you're not noticing them, even though they've always been there. That's why it works. Yeah. So it's so true. Manifesting is it. So make sure if you do, I'll just go off of what you said. If you do find something that you love and you want to go down the same path as Jaden, like start putting your mind towards the opportunities. And that's part of this whole like manifesting, writing things down, setting goals. And you've done that and you're doing it. So good job. I love that stuff.
No, I love that too.
I hate, the problem is the law of attraction, The Secret, gave it a real bad rap. It's just real. Yeah. You know, you can attract things.
It totally is. It's just, that ties in with gratitude too. Like if you're looking for the things you're grateful, you can look for an infinite number of things to be grateful for. But if you're just looking at if you're not being grateful, then you're going to see all the crap and you feel like your life sucks.
Yep. It's like if you want to get out of debt, don't focus on debt. Focus on abundance. But most people are focusing on the debt. If you don't want to hit that wall while you're driving, don't focus on the wall. you'll hit the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that. I think that's great. Great advice. Well, this has been fun. This has been good. I'm curious how long we've gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job. We got it to an hour. I think that's great. Well, let's give you guys a little bit of a plug. Tell the audience where they can find you guys, like where they can come and look at your website if they want to get you to do a wedding, social media, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah. So our Instagram is at Enlight Media, ENLYTE Media.
Okay.
Our YouTube is the same, and our website is just enlightmedia.com. So you can find us all there. Pretty simple.
We'll pull it up real quick.
All of our personals are always linked in the tag. Yeah. We always tag Ben and Jaden, and we have our own little personal brand. But yeah, there's a little preview.
Very beautiful. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very good style.
Thank you.
Cool. I was about to say, don't give them your password. So yeah, go check Enlight Media out. If you have opportunities for them to come film your wedding, hit them up. And if anything, just go follow a cute little couple that's out living their dreams.
Thank you.
So thank you for being on here, Jaden. I'm glad to have you, and we'll just cut it right there.
Perfect.